Barbershop conversation, guys. Feel free to hit the subscribe button. Now, let me preface this by saying I don't know what's going on between Game and that guy's name I can't even pronounce. Jay Prince with 50 goons. I saw this on World Star, right? And the first thing I think of, honestly, would a grown man act like that? Maybe I'm too practical. Maybe I'm too far removed from the streets. I don't know. But I just have a problem. Not a problem, because it's not my problem. Because these guys, damn! Bridges from Michigan State just hammered it down. 44-39. I have a problem. Not a problem. I have a concern. They call them timeout. I have a concern when they carry these gang habits post-parenthood, post-30s. It gets to a point when the streets are no good, man. Like, you personally, like, what 40-year-old man wants to fight? What 35? I'm 40, so maybe I'm speaking from a selfish perspective. I have no idea. But 40? I'm going into 41 right now. I don't want to fight. I understand the protection of family, the protection of your home, the protection of someone beat up your brother, your sister, your mom. I fully grasp that. But when you're fighting, and correct me if I'm wrong, I don't know, but it doesn't. They're fighting over because he's a blood, right? I saw these quick 1-minute videos. He's fighting because Game says he's a fake blood. Hey, if you take yourself out of if you're a gang member, former gang member, if you take yourself out of your environment and personally put yourself in a church in grandma's house, and you're looking at Game, who's a multimillionaire, lives next to my friend's house, has 10 cars in his parking lot. Is he still a blood? Like, for real? I'm like, are you really still a blood? Or you're a blood? I understand you're a blood till you die. But do you do blood things when you live in a mansion, got $10 million cars, his next door neighbor is Drake. He can literally walk across the street and it's Drake's house. My friend lives in the same neighborhood. So Mark Jackson lives in the same, Kenny Smith, all these guys lives in the same community. And it's just beside me that you carry these same things that you were fighting over. Actually, I'm not going in on Game. I'm just, because I know, similar to Adrian Broner, the Game is symbolic of our community. So that's why I like talking about these subjects and correlating it to manhood and becoming a man. Not that I'm the perfect man, but I'm just practical, and I believe in common sense. And he should not be fighting for the same thing he fought for at 21, when I believe he was broke, hustling, trying to make $1 out of 15 cents, claimed to be selling drugs, carrying guns, that he's doing as a multimillionaire. Right? He has a beautiful home in Calabasas, has a beautiful daughter, has a son who I think is going to be an above-average basketball player. It looks, I don't know the ceiling for him, but he's. I personally don't. I don't grasp that, and the reason why I'm talking more on Game, because I know more about Game as opposed to the other kid talking about. But he looks like a little rock star. He's no threat to Game. He's just. And I'm not going to get into the topic of culture vulturing, and because just looking at that kid's picture, the rapper that you're talking about, the fun with all the colors in his hair, I can hear I can visually, it looks like the topic of being a culture vulture. But that's not what I'm talking about. I'm just talking about just being a man, just man shit. These grown ass men should not be fighting over territory. Fighting over territory. You should be buying territory. If you're fighting over territory, you should be fighting trying to outbid someone. Every month or every couple of months, I'm fucking bidding on a property right now. I'm literally working on a property right now that I think will be a huge asset to South Central LA. And if I get this deal, y'all gonna be the first to know when we go back in escrow. We fell out of escrow one time, it didn't work out, and now the property fell out of escrow again with someone else that wanted to buy it, and now I'm back inquiring about it. I've been in negotiations for this property for like 6 months, right? And but at the end of the day, it gets to a point where enough is enough. I've never known a gang member. I shouldn't say that. Never known a gang member. I've never spoken to a gang member on a personal level, like how you talk to your friends, how I talk to my friends that say, you know what, being a blood, being a Crip is the shit. I can't wait for my child to be a second generation Crip, a third generation blood. I've never heard that ever in my life, ever in my life. But what I have heard is, man, I'm about to create this generational wealth. I'm about to create this forever money. You know, I can't wait for it to be a third generation Ken Griffey Jr., Ken Griffey Sr., Barry Bonds and Bobby Bonds. And LeBron James said if his son has a chance to be a one-and-done kid, he'll stick around in the NBA just to play with his son. You understand? Like those are the second and third generations that we can appreciate. You know, but I've never ever. I'll repeat this again because it kind of paralyzes me, right? It puts things in great context when you say, if a grown man ever told you, says, I can't wait for my daughter or my son to be a second generation blood. Man, I can't wait. Or the grandfather sitting on the house that he rents in, sitting in an apartment that he rents in, says, man, I can't wait for my grandson to be a third generation Crip. I'm not being disrespectful. I'm just talking from a man's perspective. I don't want no problem in these streets, so I don't want this to get out of context. But I know I need to speak to my brothers that follow game and may look up to him to some degree. And I'll be honest, a lot of times he does a lot of good, man. He donates, man. I mean, he donates a lot of money. Like, for real. I've seen it with my own eyes. I've seen him give a person $1,000 at the Drew League just for showing up, for being a fan. Like, for real. I've seen it with my own eyes. So I'm not discrediting the gang's philanthropy. He has something called the Robin Hood Project. I'm not discrediting that. But what I am discrediting is this man edifying the gang culture when you're that shit is game. That shit is dead. When I say it's dead, that means it's dead. I had one conversation with him this summer, but it was about the Pablo Escobar project that I currently have the rights, that I own the rights to. But outside of that, I haven't spoken to him. And it was a brief conversation. It was nothing serious. We spoke on Instagram, and then I spoke to him in person at the Drew League. So outside of that, I have no affiliation to game, but he represents a lot of the people that look like me in South Central LA, in Compton, in Inglewood, or South LA now, I apologize. But, you know what I mean? I just want us all to win. And that gang culture, we can't keep on praising and edifying gang culture. You know, it's not going to do nothing but do us harm. What it's going to do is keep the property value down so these Jews can get wealthy, or a guy like Frederick Hawthorne can come in your neighborhood and buy up your apartment buildings and put my grandkids, my great-grandkids, I don't say through college, but supporting their dreams and visions. You know, because I have no problem buying a house or buying an apartment building connected to an alley with graffiti on it. I have no problem with it because Section 8 still pays $1,600 a month, $1,800 a month. You understand? If I have 10 units at $1,800 a month, that's $10,800, and the mortgage payment is $4,500. So I'm literally going to win. You guys get what I'm saying? So I'm not opposed to that. You understand what I'm saying? Because that's my market. That's what I grew up in. I don't have the $10 million to buy a 20-unit complex in Santa Monica or in Beverly Hills. I don't have that cash flow just yet. You understand what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, we're doing nothing but being detriment to our community, glorifying the gang culture. So anyways, man, Barbershop Conversations, man. Feel free to subscribe. But I may do something else on this topic because I think this topic paralyzes us and creates dialogue and conversation for us. Anyways, man, Barbershop Conversations. Feel free to subscribe. And if I'm wrong on this subject, please put in the comment section. But I believe that's what it is. Talk to you guys soon. Peace.